hours later if those loved ones made it out alive. Let's go back down to the streets where it all happened. Pule Letshwiti-Jones and Bafedile Moerane with me this morning. Bafedile, I'll come to you in just a moment. I want to go to Pule first, though. Pule, morning to you. You have someone who lost a loved one in the fire. Tell me who you're talking to.
Well, a very good morning, Gareth. And yes, indeed, over 70 people have died, and including 12 children. The youngest was a 1-year-old baby, according to medical officials and, of course, city authorities as well. I'm speaking to one of the family members of the 1-year-old baby who joins me right now as we continue to speak and show you how this fire blazed through this building here, wrecking it apart as well. And, you know, quite a tragic incident that has happened here as well. Let me speak to the gentleman here. Thank you very much, my brother, for speaking to me this morning. As we take a walk this morning, just tell me maybe as to what really, happened. You lost a loved one. How was the experience?
Well, just have the stress because it's my sisters, and that's they're hungry for the sisters. Was there from there inside the building. So the time that when the fire that coming, that my sister never tried to come out because it was more fires. So this means that the sister that died and the kids. Sure.
You lost a loved one, of course. Did you try and save them when you saw the fire? What were you doing? Were you sleeping?
No, just with everyone. The time that when you wake up, they never think about someone else because the fire was coming there more. So it was tried just to sort out yourself. Yeah. And
then also, the government officials are saying that they have organized shelters. Where did you sleep?
Yeah, I sleep on the shelter. Today, sure.
Which shelter?
I don't know the shelter that one I can know because there was the night that they take me there to put me there by the shelter, and I sleeping there. I wake up the one time I use the 15 to use the transport to come here because I'm going to work.
Have you gone to government mortuary to identify bodies as well?
I don't know.
You haven't gone there. Okay. And then I found you here this morning. Obviously, of what happened 24 hours later. What were you trying to recollect when you were here? What were you doing here?
No, just I was coming to see the place because I was need maybe to check something there inside the room that when I find it, just I never find anything. Even the clothes that when I wear, they say only this one. I don't have any clothes. The stuff that when I was buying, and so I never find even one. The other stuff they're gone.
Do you know how long it took for the firefighters to come here?
I don't know. The fire that started around maybe around 12:30 until 8. So.
What other things did you lose that were personal here? What other personal belongings did you use?
No, the more that when I lose, the more the trauma that when I make me to cry because the more people that when I losing from them. Because these the people of from Malawi. Sure.
Have you called back home to Malawi to tell them what happened?
I tried to call him there to tell him. People just don't talk nothing. Just still cry until now because he lost the people. So.
Just for clarity, who did you lose in the fire here?
I lose my sister and the kids.
How many kids?
1 kid and the sisters.
How old was the kid?
The kid was 1 year and 3 months.
1 year and 3 months.
So.
Right. So what are you going to be doing from now onwards? Now, this has happened. You are feeling quite terrible. What will you be doing now?
No, I don't know right now. I don't know how can I do because even I don't know. I don't have the man. I don't have the anything. I don't know how can I do now. So.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pain too much.
Thank you very much. Maybe you can also speak to us here and tell us. You said your friends were living here as well. Where are your friends? How are they doing?
Mina ngashala le building la. But ngashala ne ama friend wa mina ama abute wa mi. And usuku vela ngilele. Wow, afu torof. Basi sikati kuti ngizwe ukuthi abantu uyabaleka. Kahlikayo ukuthi ini ke meme uyashayisana. Mina ngimfule lapha munyango. Ngiyamba ukuthi toilet ngifuna ukucama. Manje ukuthi sikhathi ngibuyile ngona ukuthi abantu abaningi. So ifire manje ukuthi iyaphuma le phansi ihamba le phezulu. ngiyabuza ukuthi kahle ini but ngakhokha le ukuthi i-short angichoka ngale i-t-shirt phela ngesikhathi uyabona ukuthi umuntu ukuthi uyalala ngeke uyangiqoka le jacket what mina ngifikele endlini ngiyavukisa la ukuthi ama-friend yami le usister ndiyomntwana ukuthi vuka phela inkinga ukuthi vuka phela ukuthi abantu uyabaleka and mina ngathatha le ngibonela ukuthi ngikhokhele lesikhumba le ni i-trouser phela ngafaka le ngawoko ngihamba le yabaleka lo usisi wami now ushonile ngapha akaphuma bathi ukuthi inkinga ukuthi ifikile ukuthi yabona ukuthi umuntu ufuna ukuphumiza ne manje ukuthi isikhathi ukuthi wabaleka uyabhala phansi so abantu uyambona uyahamba so isikhathi ukuthi mina ukuthi awu ngiphumile la phansi ukuthi uweze usisi mina ngikuthi ukuthi ngama ngamthola ngibonela ukuthi yonke into le i-building le ikhona ukuthi fire ngikuthi ngizohamba kanjani manje ukuthi nami ngizofa bathi mina ngiyahlala la phansi ngiyakhala until manje yabona ukuthi le izinto zami zonke ngeke ngiphumisile bathi ngiphumile isikhathi ukuthi ngibalekile izinkokeleza until manje akunalutho angimazi ukuthi mina ngizoezana.
Thank you very much, my brother. I'll be with you, of course, during the course of the day. And obviously, I'm a police and other officials. Just mind this so the car does not bump you. Thank you very much, Gareth. This gentleman, you're telling us that, he tried to save one of his siblings and friends as well, but the fire was just overpowering them. And at some point, he had to find his way to escape from this building here, as you can see. And I spoke to the gentleman earlier who lost, of course, one of the youngest ones who lost their lives here in this tragedy, a 1-year-old, a 3-month baby as well. He also lost his sister, as we spoke to him. But, this is really what has happened here, and they are continuing to go to the shelter to say that they want to receive counseling. He tells me that he has to call back home in Malawi to notify them now and let the family know of really what has happened here. As you can see on screen, the area, or rather the scene, is still cordoned off by the South African police service. Indeed, some of the victims are coming here just to recollect and reminisce as to what had happened. It seems as though they're having flashbacks of what could they have done better to save their loved ones. Some here saying they did all they can to try and escape and vacate and save their loved ones. However, the fire was just blazing and gutting throughout this building here. And on the other side, you get a sense, you can see that some were using fabrics to tie knots to try and escape from the second floor. One eyewitness yesterday saying that the one lady threw out a baby out of the window, and she also jumped out of the window and essentially breaking her leg. On my right hand side, you can see that some have decided to actually not go to the shelters and sleep on the streets for whatever reason it is, even though they were advised to go to the shelters. The councillor in the morning we spoke to said that they had organized 3 places where the shelters are currently up. But you still have those who are residing in the building who are still outside this building. The city managers, Floyd Brink, yesterday did say that they will do everything in their power to have the people moved and placed into temporary shelters as we speak. So this, of course, is a tragic incident that happened here, and it's quite sad to hear what the gentleman had to say, who's from Malawi, who lost his sister and the 1-year-old baby who was residing here as well.
Yeah, you could see the trauma and the sadness in his eyes. Very brave to come and speak to us on camera as well. If you just joined us, by the way, you can see Bafedile, Moerane. We're going to go there in a second. Heidi, Giokos also with us throughout this morning. There's Heidi. I'm going to come to you in a second, Heidi. Just stand by for me. I want to just go over to the mortuary very quickly with Bafedile. Bafedile, just give me a quick look. I'll come back to you in a second, but just give me a sense. What are you seeing there? Because Heidi has a guest with her.
Well, the situation is still quiet this morning here at Deep Loop in Soweto. as we understand that from this morning, the families of the victims who have died yesterday there at Johannesburg CBD have been advised to come to the mortuary for identification process. Over 70 people having to lose their lives, and we understand that 10 are undiscovered at this point because they have burned beyond recognition. But the provincial government is stating that there is a DNA process that will be followed, and they have been also advised to bring the relevant documents, which includes the IDs to when they come here for identification. This particular building behind us, it starts to operate by 8 o'clock, and we're expecting to see the families to come here and do their identification process there, Gareth. So really a not good morning at all. Traumatic scenes, as you also had there. Pule having to speak to one of the Malawian nations who's saying that he doesn't know what to do, where to start, because also the issue of foreign nationals has also been highlighted as a problem, to say that a number of them, they do not have proper documentation. But however, the provincial government under the Department of Health, it's saying that people should now start coming here at the forensic pathology and Soweto Diploof to start with the identification process. So it's about 61 people who have also been admitted in a number of hospitals here in Johannesburg, which include Helen Joseph, Rahima Musa Mother and Children Hospital, Tembisa Hospital, among others. And they are being treated after a number of them sustained serious injuries and also having to inhale a lot of smoke. So we're expecting to engage further with the Provincial Health Department, MEC, later this morning to hear how far are the processes in terms of identification, and we'll also engage some of the family members to hear as to whether do they have the proper documents for identification, Gareth.
Yeah, okay, Bafedile, for the moment then, keeping a watch on the mortuary for us. Going to be a devastatingly sad day there for those who've lost their loved ones, have to now go there and identify. That's the one part of the horror of the story. Heidi, Giokos, let's come to you. Those are the family members that are going to have to relive that trauma, but somebody with you, I understand, telling you about how they actually had to experience it firsthand yesterday. Hi, Heidi, who do you have?
Yes, Gareth, I'm just going to ask you to bear with us because I don't want my guest to stand, given the fact that he has damaged his leg. I just hope he is ready. Sorry, Tom, are you ready for us? Okay, don't stand up. It's fine. It's fine. I'll just bend down. Maybe just tell us what happened yesterday at 1 o'clock in the morning. You've obviously hurt your leg in the process. Maybe just tell us your experience and what happened.
All right. I'm not sure about the fire, how it was started, but the thing that I know is I was asleep around past 1, so I have just realized from awake that the thread has bent. So I have tried my best level to jump from 4th floor up to down. Only that I have affected is my legs, but now at least I'm fine.
Just tell me, were you staying alone? Tell me who was in the room with you and what happened when you realized that there was a fire.
All right. Where I am staying, we were 3 brothers, but now I can say 2 of us, we are survived, but 2 of them are passed away.
So when you realized that there was a fire, did you wake up your brothers and say, please, we need to get out? Maybe just take us through that.
Yeah, I have tried my best to tell them, but 2 of them were trying to running away from fire through corridor. So one of them were following me through the window. That's why now we are survived.
So you basically, if I get this right, you basically jumped from that small little window on this side of the building, and you didn't jump. You jumped straight down from the 4th floor.
Yeah, I jumped from the window straight down. Yeah.
Maybe just take us through what was happening around you at the time. Were people trying to jump through the window? It was obviously a lot of panic because people were trying to get out.
Yeah, other people, when the moment they are jumping from the window, other they are gone immediately. Other they are just make injuries like me. It was like that. Yeah.
And what are you going to do now, Tom? Because this place has been completely gutted. There's no way that you can go back in. You've lost everything. Maybe just tell us about that.
Yeah. I can say now, only thing that I'm deciding is only to go to Malawi. Yeah.
Have you lost everything? All your documents, absolutely everything?
Yeah, even all my stuff I have lost. Now I don't have anything.
How are you feeling? I'm sure you're quite traumatized.
No, I'm not feeling bad. Only that I'm thanks to God now I'm arrived. Yeah.
So you're definitely lucky to be alive because, you know, over 70 people have died. It's about 74 that have died. You know, when you were here and you fell and you jumped out of the building and you were seeing all those people around you, how did it make you feel?
Yeah, I can say maybe everything, maybe God knows before it happens. So now, for me, it's just thanks to God that now I'm arrived. Yeah.
And can you tell me about the living conditions here? Because we were told that this was a hijacked building and it was not great to be living in here. How was it for you?
Maybe I can say like the moment I was in the hospital, I was feeling bad, but now at least I'm fine. Yeah.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks for speaking to us, and we hope that you get better. Thank you so much. Thanks for speaking to us. Gareth, I think that really is a first-hand account of what really was going on in the early hours of yesterday morning, where we do know that that fire started. Tom is one of the very lucky ones to have survived. It's very tragic, though, that he says his two brothers did not make it out. And I think that's probably what happened to a lot of people, where, you know, you're in a panic mode, there's a fire, you have no idea what's going on. And he was telling us off camera that a lot of people were trying to get out of the building through the corridors, like the normal way that you would get out of a building. But when there's a fire, you don't really know how serious the fire actually is, and that's why he decided, together with his one brother, to actually jump out of the building through a very small window. I actually had showed you the window earlier on, Gareth. I'm not sure if I have time to just show you. Let's actually just quickly take a walk there, because that window is a very small window, and he had actually I asked him which side of the building that he jumped from, and he said it was the fourth floor on this side. So it's on this side of the building. I presume it would be 1, 2, 3, so all the way at the top there, and he probably used one of the smaller windows because of the burglar bars that were in place. So really brave, but obviously very traumatized, given that his two brothers did not make it out alive.
Yeah, I just imagine having to make that decision to jump out of the window of a 5-story building. Heidi, Giokos, we're waiting for Pule Letshwiti-Jones. He's just moving location very quickly as well. Heidi, just as I stay with you for just a few more seconds while we wait for Pule, are you expecting any government officials or authorities to arrive there that you're aware of? This morning is waiting for Pule to get set up.
Not that I know of, Gareth, but I do suspect that SAPS will definitely be on scene, because we do know that they have taken over the building. Yesterday I did hear the SAPS telling the president that they will be bringing in K9 units to make sure that there are no bodies that perhaps were missed yesterday during the chaos. And obviously now that everything has been settled down, they might be able to go through the building with a lot more efficiency. Not that that didn't happen yesterday, but I think because of what was happening, and that there was still some sort of blaze and smoke, they might be able to do another check today. So I haven't heard of any officials arriving today, but the city will obviously have to continue with its updates and its briefings, especially around the shelters and the support that is needed for those that survived.
Yeah, let's not forget, that's now how the story moves forward. There are a lot of survivors, a lot of loved ones who need care as well. Heidi, Giokos, thank you for the moment. If you just joined us, by the way, Bafedile, Moerane, Pule Letshwiti-Jones, Heidi, Giokos, we're bringing you all the angles this morning on this blaze in Joburg. Bafedile, I'm going to let you go for the moment out to the mortuary for us. She'll be there throughout the day, and then we'll get the details as that happens. Pule, let's come to you for a second. You found someone else to talk to. I'm not sure who it is. Who have you found?
Well, yes, that's correct. Earlier on, I spoke to one person from Malawi as well who lost his sister and her one-year-old baby, who, by the way, is the youngest baby or child who died as a result of this fire. 12 children have died in total, according to authorities as well here. But I'm now speaking to one lady here who also was residing in this building, but when the fire started, she's now had to live on the streets. She did not go to shelter, and she slept here throughout the evening. So, Mama, thank you very much for speaking to me this morning. Maskulum, what happened, Mamisol?
Sishele la ngaphakathi ngihlale phezulu erufini babe ngivusa ukuthi akuvuke kuyasha mangivuke endlini begcwele smoke endlini ngigijima ngaphuma kuneside elingala alimala nala unyaweni
ngibonisa ulimele kophi
la.
Well, Gareth, she's saying that this is where she got injured. I'm just showing you now on a camera. This is her injury as well. And then she said that she was residing in this building. But let me just speak to her again. Mama, what floor were you residing on?
Bengilapha phezulu erufini.
Erufini.
Abe rooftop phezulu.
So ujampile?
Cha angijampanga sikwazile ukuthi sikizikije umlilo bomningi ngakudesadeni ngalesiphume ngapha. Bongakabi mningi ngapha saphuma ngapha. Sikwazile ukugijima siphume ngapha. So kodwa abantu bebejumpa abanye khona.
And then bokunjani bonomlilo bokunjani abantu bebakhala bebenzani
bekhala abantu bebesha abanye bekhanywa ismoke abanye bebeqe khona la beyiphosa abantwana nabo beyiphosa abanye bashonile abanye.
Azange ngibone into eso empilweni yakho before.
Kasi ngibona into eso ngihlala ngibona ku TV angaze ngibona into eso.
Uluza ubani uluze ingane uluza ubani?
Ngiluza ngamuntu kodwa abangani bami umunye umngane wami uluza umntanakhe namunye umhlali behlala khona la naye uluza umntanakhe abantu abaningi baluza abantu abomndeni yabo mina ngiluza ngamuntu umndeni embekahlala nawo.
Mama bathi kunamashelter wani ingayanga shelter
izolo bahambisa abantu abanabantwana bathi babuya bazosilanda zange baze babuye bazosilanda since sihleli la silinde bona sasalala khona.
Wani bathi bazolanda
ibhasi lihambile ehambile abantu abantwana bahambe bathi babuye bazosilanda zange baze babuye.
And then injury lezange uye hospital uye-treat zange bathi bazonisiza
zange ngiye hospital because mayise ebusuku kathi kuyenzeka bengisashisa ngisho ukuthi into encane zengayifila ipeni ebusuku ukuthi kulepe angikhona ukuhamba sengivuvukele.
And then in terms of ukuhlala la ekhaya ubafonelile obatshela ukuthi kwenzakeleni?
Cha ngabafonisele phakathi.
Ulahleni kulahlakeni lapha phakathi.
Into ngiphume nginjengoba nginjalo nje namajezi engigqokile ngitholela ngaphandle casula nginazo nebenginikeza nabanye intshontshe futhi khona la ngaphandle.
How long have you been living here for?
4 years ngihlala la kule flat.
Kuma kuphi?
Ekhaya kusespray kodwa umama nomuze spray kodwa ekhaya kusenquthu.
Manje benibhadala irent la?
Besikhokha irent.
Malini?
Besikhokha 1,000 rand 800 abaroom bangafani mara mina ngikhoka 800.
How many rooms?
Iroom eli-1.
Iroom eli-1. Ikamera. Benishare kitchen bokunjani ngaphakathi?
Iroom nje eli-1 lidivide ngamabhodi.
One room divided by pots. So nizenza kanjani manje?
Asazi silinde yena ugovernment ukuthi asizame ngendawo yokuhlala. Nama nempahla nama-ID wethu ngoba yonke into isele khona lapha phakathi.
So mkhuluma nobani la?
Nosipho Masondo.
Nosipho Masondo. And then unengakhe?
Mina.
How old are you?
Like 33.
Thank you very much. Nosipho Masondo there, Gareth, speaking to us this morning. Sorry for those shaky visuals, but I just had to get some bit of information as to what really transpired here. So essentially what she's telling us is that she was residing here. She was paying 1,000 rand per month for rent. The rooms were divided in boards. It was one bedroom, you share toilets, you share kitchens. And that when she recalls that the fire, blazed and obviously destroyed this building, she tried to save some of her friends as well. She lost a friend who also had a child who was residing here. Nosipho has been residing here for 4 years. She says she's never seen something of such a nature. But also, most importantly, government have said that they've set up shelters where those who are, injured, those who've lost shelter can go and get shelter. But she says that they were promised that the officials would come back and collect those who were not taken to the shelter, but the bus did not return. It seems as though officials did not come back to collect those who could not get into the bus, which was was full at that particular moment, and now they had to sleep here throughout this cold evening. So those are some of the questions I think we should be posing to the authorities as to what are the measures, what are they doing to ensure that everyone is accommodated, because she's quite injured as you look at her foot as well. Seems as though that's as a result of when she was trying to escape from the building, and she says that she's really pleading with officials for help because she can't even walk now. She needs someone who can, assist her with that bruised injury. So those are the challenges that those who haven't really been assisted by government are currently facing here, Gareth, outside this building here.